Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent and the Merciful. Now today's main headlines. Latest developments in Syria following fall of Bashar al-Assad. Israeli strikes in Gaza intensify as UN calls for ceasefire. TikTok's carbon footprint rivals Greece amid social media emission concerns. Quran app data breach exposes millions of Muslims to privacy risks. Assalamu alaikum dear viewers, this is Hussein Jawad and you're watching Shia Waves live from Imam Hussein TV 3 in London. The recent ousting of Bashar al-Assad marks a pivotal moment for Syria, prompting calls for justice, humanitarian support and to commitment to democratic governance as the country navigates its complex transition. More details in the following report.
In a significant development following the fall of Assad on December the 8th, Fadl Abdulghani, director of the Syrian Network for Human Rights, reported that over 6,000 regime officers have been documented for war crimes. He emphasised the urgent need for national court to prosecute these individuals, warning that without justice the cycle of revenge may continue. Abdulghani also highlighted the ongoing human rights abuses, including over 200,000 deaths attributed to Assad's regime, and stressed the necessity for international support to establish an independent judiciary. As a new transitional government is formed, led by Mohammed al-Bashar, there are concerns regarding the future of Syrian refugees. Several EU countries, including Austria and Germany, have suspended asylum applications for Syrians, citing the need to assess the new political landscape. German Interior Minister Nancy Faeser noted that the conditions in Syria must improve before considering repatriation, while over 47,000 asylum claims from Syrians remain pending in Germany. The G7 leaders have expressed readiness to support a political transition in Syria, emphasising respect for human rights and the rule of law. The transitional government has announced a 3-month period to amend the constitution and ensure a stable governance structure. Meanwhile, rebel leader Ahmed al-Shara, formerly known as Abu Muhammad al-Golani, has sought to reassure Syrians that his group, Hayat Tahrir al-Sham (HTS), does not seek to dominate the country. He emphasised that HTS will continue to provide essential government services and maintain order. Meanwhile, Syria's new government spokesman has said that the country's constitution and parliament would be suspended for the duration of the 3-month transition period following President Bashar Assad's ouster, claiming that the current constitution dates back to 2012 and does not specify Islam as the state religion. In the meantime, Israel has continued attacks on Syria, apparently taking advantage of the security vacuum in the nation. In response, the United Nations chief Antonio Guterres has said that he is deeply concerned over the hundreds of Israeli airstrikes on Syria, noting that there is an urgent need to de-escalate violence on all fronts throughout the country. Concurrently, the Shirazi-affiliated international non-violence organisation Free Muslim has welcomed the recent release of political detainees from Syrian prisons, advocating for broader reforms that prioritise human rights and freedoms. They stress the need for Arab and Islamic governments to review their policies to ensure the protection of dissenters and promote democratic governance, which they believe it is essential for long-term stability and reform in Syria. It is also worth mentioning that the Biden administration is reportedly considering removing Hayat Tahrir al-Sham from its terror list to facilitate international engagement despite ongoing discussions and monitoring of the group's activities. This is Arush Fasma for Shia Waves.
Thank you for that report, Aruj Fatima. An Israeli airstrike in Gaza's Nusayrat refuge camp late Thursday killed at least 30 Palestinians and injured 50 others who are sheltering in a post office. According to local medics, earlier strikes in Nusayrat and on aid convoys in southern Gaza also resulted in numerous casualties. In northern Gaza's Jabalia camp, sealed off by Israeli forces since October, a quadcopter drone strike killed healthcare workers traveling between hospitals to treat patients. Gaza's health ministry reports that over 1,050 healthcare workers have died since the conflict began, severely straining medical services. The death toll in Gaza has surpassed 44,800. More than half of them are women and children. Thousands remain trapped under rubble, with tens of thousands injured. Meanwhile, the UN General Assembly passed resolutions demanding an immediate ceasefire and supporting the Palestinian Refugee Agency, which Israel has barred from operating amid deteriorating humanitarian circumstances. According to a new analysis by Greenly, a Paris-based carbon accounting firm, TikTok's annual carbon footprint is estimated to exceed 50 million metric tons of CO2, surpassing Greece's emissions, with high user activity and energy-intensive data centers contributing to its impact. More details in the following report.
The vibrant and addictive world of TikTok, where users spend hours scrolling through bite-sized videos, comes with a hefty environmental cost. A new analysis revealed that the platform's annual carbon footprint may surpass that of Greece, with emissions estimated at 50 million metric tons of CO2 globally. This makes TikTok one of the most environmentally taxing social media platforms. According to Greenly, a Paris-based carbon accounting firm, TikTok's 2023 emissions in the US, UK, and France alone has reached 7.6 million metric tons of CO2, outpacing platforms like Twitter and Snapchat. Despite having nearly half of the user base of Instagram, TikTok's emissions were slightly higher due to a longer average usage of 45.5 minutes daily compared to Instagram's 30.6 minutes. Each TikTok user generates 48.49 kilograms of CO2 annually, equivalent to driving 123 miles in a gasoline car. This figure places TikTok second only to YouTube in emissions per user. The bulk of these emissions stem from energy-intensive data centers, which account for 99% of TikTok's footprint, along with the device charging. Unlike its competitors such as Meta and Google, TikTok has yet to release transparent emissions data. While the platform aims to achieve carbon neutrality by 2023 through initiatives like Project Clover, progress remains minimal, with only one renewable energy data center established in Norway. The platform's future is further complicated by ownership uncertainties. As the US court ruling requires TikTok's Chinese parent company, ByteDance, to divest by January 2025, if acquired by a US entity, stricter emission reporting laws may apply.
Thank you for that report, Imam Hussein. Let's take a look back at today's main headlines. Latest developments in Syria following fall of Bashar al-Assad. Israeli strikes in Gaza intensify as UN calls for ceasefire. TikTok's carbon footprint rivals Greece amid social media emission concerns. Also, tonight, prolonged standing poses serious health risks, survey finds. A Turkish app, Quran, has exposed over 3.6 million highly sensitive user records due to an unprotected Elasticsearch server. The app, developed by Istanbul-based Sigma Telecom and downloaded over 1 million times from the Google Play Store, helps users study the Quran and engage in prayer practices. The leaked data included geolocation details, device identifiers, IP and MAC addresses, SIM serial numbers and carrier information, leaving users vulnerable to identify theft, surveillance and tracking. Researchers warn that such information could be exploited to locate users' residences or monitor movements, particularly during sensitive events like protests. The Quran developers have since secured the exposed data, but they have yet to issue a formal response. We now continue with some short news. Leading scientists, including Nobel laureates, have called for a moratorium on creating synthetic mirror-like microbes, warning that they could pose unprecedented risks to life on Earth. The organisms constructed using mirror image molecules might bypass immune defenses in humans, animals and plants, potentially causing uncontrollable, lethal infections, the report warns. The recent report, supported by 38 experts, highlights concerns over the environmental establishment and containment challenges of such microbes, as well as the ineffectiveness of existing antibiotics against them. While research into mirror molecules holds promise for medical and industrial applications, the report warns that mirror microbes carry extraordinary dangers. World economic growth is projected to slow to 2.7% in 2025, down from 2.9% in 2024, Anadolu Agency reported, citing a forecast revealed by the International Institute of Finance on Wednesday. The IIF anticipates that the average GDP growth rate from mature markets will decrease to 1.3% in 2025 compared to 1.5% in 2024. Specifically, the growth outlook for the United States is set at 1.9%, while the euro area is expected to see just 0.6%. In 2024, China experienced its first net foreign direct investment outflows in decades, while similarly bleak outlook for 2025. Capital flows to non-China EMs are expected to decrease to $781 billion in 2025 from $824 billion in 2024. The Free Muslim Association has expressed deep satisfaction with the recent release of several political detainees in Syria. Building on this development, the organization issued a broad call to Arab and Islamic states to release prisoners, particularly political detainees and peaceful opponents, and work toward emptying prisons. In its statement, Free Muslim urged Arab and Islamic governments to review their domestic and foreign policies, emphasizing the importance of promoting good governance and improving their handling of issues affecting their populations. The statement stressed that releasing political prisoners and halting the persecution of peaceful dissenters is a crucial step toward political and economic reform, highlighting that fostering and guaranteeing freedoms contributes to gradually adopting and entrenching democratic practices, thereby enhancing political stability and sustainable development. The international organization expressed hope that Arab and Islamic governments will embrace this initiative as part of their commitment to human rights and political reform, in alignment with their people's aspirations for justice and freedom. Chinese researchers from the University of South China have successfully extracted cancer-fighting nuclides from rare earth minerals. The team announced on Wednesday the isolation of high-purity lead-212 and bismuth-212 nuclides, which are promising for targeted alpha-nuclide therapy, TAT, a new treatment approach for cancers such as breast, pancreatic and prostate cancer. The research team developed a cost-effective method for separating these nuclides using a halide medium and a novel adsorbent material known as silica-supported anion exchange resin. Currently, the team is exploring the extraction of additional nuclides, including radium-228, thorium-228 and radium-224, which may further contribute to advancement in cancer treatment. Iraq's security media cell announced the destruction of 8 ISIS hideouts in the Hamrin Mountains following coordinated airstrikes. The operation, conducted under the directives of Commander-in-Chief Mohammed Shia al-Sudani, targeted areas known for their challenging geography. Using intelligence from the Iraqi National Intelligence Service and military agencies, airstrikes were carried out by Sinza Caravan aircraft within the Kirkuk Operations Command sector. The hideouts used for shelter, transportation and weapons storage were completely destroyed. The security forces emphasized their commitment to sustaining pressure on ISIS remnants through continued intelligence and operational efforts. A survey of 1,000 non-office workers who stand for at least 4 hours daily, conducted by workplace safety company COBA, has revealed significant mental and physical health issues linked to prolonged standing. According to the survey, workers in industries like manufacturing, retail, hospitality and healthcare reported ailments such as lower back pain 46%, foot pain 33% and knee pain 29%. Nearly half of the respondents struggled to get out of bed due to their health problems, while 2 in 5 relied on painkillers to get through their shifts. A quarter sought medical help from their GP. Mental health was also impacted, with over a third reporting negative effects and almost half taking sick leave, averaging 2.4 days annually. The study also highlighted that workers spent an average of 148 and 29p on costs related to their health, including lost earnings and medical expenses, but fewer than half reported receiving any support from their employers. We have reached the end of today's Shia Waves news. Let's remind our dear viewers of today's main headlines. Latest developments in Syria following fall of Bashar al-Assad. Israeli strikes in Gaza intensify as UN calls for ceasefire. TikTok's carbon footprint rivals Greece amid social media emission concerns. Quran app data breach exposes millions of Muslims to privacy risks. Prolonged standing poses serious health risks, survey finds. You can read the latest news on our Shia Waves website, and you can send news of your city or country to be published on news agency. Contact the numbers at the bottom of the screen. Thank you all for watching. We pray to Allah Almighty to hasten the appearance of the Master of time. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
We are securing a new home, a sanctuary named after the Queen of Karbala, Lady Zainab Salamullahi alayhi, who commemorated Abi Abdullah al-Hussein and spread the message of Karbala. This new complex, spanning 515 square meters, will be the central hub for our 5 channels, a place for filming, editing, broadcasting and gathering as a community. With a cost of £1.5 million, we invite you to be part of this new chapter. Each square meter will cost £2,900, but every contribution counts. One share is £290, or even one brick is £50. Your donation will not only build this sanctuary, but also secure immense rewards in this world and the hereafter. Every show produced, every message broadcasted will be a source of thawab for you and your families. By helping us secure this building, you are paving the way for millions to connect with Karbala and the message of Imam Hussein alayhi salam through our channels. Join the ranks of the lovers of Aba Abdullah. Be part of this noble cause. Donate today and make a lasting impact on Shia media globally.
Have a duty towards the preservation and the propagation of the message of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Indeed, one of the best ways to work towards the reappearance of Imam al-Mahdi ajjalallahu ta'ala farajul sharif is through promoting the values of Karbala. Imam Hussein Media Group is the only Shia television network that broadcasts globally in 5 different languages: Arabic, Farsi, Turkish, Urdu, and English. We are appealing to the lovers of Imam Hussein alayhi salam worldwide to support the channel such that it may continue its global operations. Imam Hussein Media Group is seeking 1,000 partners to pledge to a £14 contribution per month. This will allow the channel to sustain its operating costs as we continue to spread the message of Imam Hussein alayhi salam in multiple languages across the globe. You be a part of this great legacy and donate today. You can pledge in 2 ways. www.imamhussein3.tv/donate will take you direct to our donation page where you can pledge monthly. Or you can call or WhatsApp us on 0044 793 9917163. Imam Hussein TV, your gateway to Karbala.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the House Majalis vlog. Assalamu alaikum, Haji Sadiq Damani. Of Fatima Zahra, majority perspective. The intention of the vlog is to show people how to do house majalis. Historically, majalis used to be done, of course, in houses after the martyrdom of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. And then as the centuries progressed, people started doing them in the mosques as well as the house majalis. If you go to Iraq right now, or even the countries in Asia, quite often you find that the 10 days of Muharram are done in the homes. They bring a member, they bring a speaker, and the whole 10 nights is done inside the home. So we want to show people how to do house majalis, step by step, what to miss, what not to miss, and inshallah we have an increase in number of people doing house majalis. As you can see here, you need a setup. This majlis will be about Fatima Zahra salamullah alayha and her shahada, hence the black cloth. You can get black cloth from most material shops. These were custom made in Iraq. Here is our member. All that you need is a simple chair, if you don't have a proper member like myself, and you just cover it up with a black cloth, or even abayas work quite well. Now, sound system. If there's not a lot of people coming to the house majlis, you don't actually need a sound system. So here you can get it from a friend. I've got this one from a friend of mine. We've got our own stand, and of course the lecturer will speak here. A small table with another black cloth for them to put their notes in if they needed, and a bit of lighting, but that is not necessarily essential. Other bits that you could do, for example, as you can see here, you can get a red light bulb, so when the majlis actually starts, it creates that sadness feeling. Here, as you can see, we can do segregation. This will be a men and women majlis. This is a segregation partition, and they have their own setup here with the TV, and it will be streamed live. Regarding the food, food is something that brings barakah, and you do not need to have food in your house majlis. However, it is something very valuable and brings barakah to your home, as well as the people that made the food. As you